Okay, so before we go any further, you might be interested in our new ebook. Marina, our home care champion, has written this. It's all about how to grow your home care business. So I think the very fact that you're on this webinar with us today is suggesting that you're interested in growing your business. So you can, if you see this little URL at the end, it's our website and then home care-ebook, or if you grab your phone, you can take a photo of that QR code. You can scan that QR code and you'll be able to get that. I'll make sure we put a link to it in our email that we send you afterwards as well. So, an introduction. I've only been talking for 5 minutes and now you know who I am. I'm Marie Page. I'm the, oh my word, I've called myself managing director here. I'm not, I'm the marketing manager. Obviously, I picked that up on a previous slide. I'm the marketing manager at CareLineLive, and you can find my LinkedIn address there. Please do connect with me. I don't share masses about the home care sector, but I do share a bit about marketing from time to time, and it's always good to connect. The home care sector person really is Marina, and she's joining me today. She's our home care champion. Marina shares loads of really good stuff on LinkedIn, so do follow her, please. So, marketing for home care businesses. Now, I've been working in this sector for nearly 2 years now, so I know the sector fairly well. I've been to lots of the shows, I've talked to a lot of customers over the time, and I know our software fairly well. Prior to that, I was working as a marketing consultant. I've run a number of businesses. My sweet spot really is working with small and medium-sized businesses, helping them do the basics of marketing from the ground up. So this is very much kind of this what's the word, with a Venn diagram where you interlink the two areas of expertise. So basic marketing bits and pieces and home care. So in my experience, I would suggest that for a small home care business, and I'm looking at the sort of under 20 carers really, there are two things that you really need to have. You need to have a website. Now, it could be really, really tiny. It could just be a few pages, but particularly if you're looking for private clients, and of course, you know, they're the ones that are paying and often, you know, keeping you a little bit more afloat when times are really tough with public sector contracts. They're not going to find you very easily without having a website. So I do think you need to have a website. Now, ideally, that would be optimized for search engine optimization. So optimized so that search engines can find your website, so that Google knows when people say, I'm looking for a domiciliary care agency, and they will find you. Now, we're not doing the full thing on SEO today. I mean, that would be many weeks of webinars, but what we are looking at today is local search. So that will help a little bit. There are other things in relation to SEO that a website can do. So we've got a sister company called Mass Group that can help you both with website builds and SEO and other aspects. So do reach out to Mass Group if you would like a little bit of CareLineLive flavoured support. And the other thing I think you really need to have is a Google business profile. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. I'm not going to go over the outline of what that is right now, but you'll have that later on. Let's look at the other nice to have things, and some of you have talked about these already. So with social media, I would, Nat, can you, someone's just asked if the meeting started, they can't hear anything.
Yes,
if you could just explain, it's about the audio settings, thank you. So the main three social media platforms really, Facebook, Instagram and LinkedIn. Now, obviously Twitter used to be very much part of that in the past. It's now X. I'm not seeing an awful lot of traction on Twitter, or X as it is now, in our sector. So I would concentrate on those three: Facebook, Instagram and LinkedIn. And you know, it's your call as to whether you feel that you've got the time and the resource to do them. I don't think they're essential, particularly for smaller providers. You will want to be listed on directories. I'm thinking home care, for instance. So there are national and local directories that you'll want to be listed on as a home care provider. So make sure that you get yourself onto those. It can be nice to do some video marketing. So we took a little camera crew out to a local provider earlier in the week so that we could showcase CareLineLive in action. And we'll use those on our social media and also on our YouTube and our website, of course. So, you know, that's a really nice thing to do if you can, but I'm aware that we're starting to get into the realms of having kind of people that have real skills and sort of marketing and other skills sort of backgrounds, which you may not have. So one of you definitely is doing some paid advertising on Google Ads. These are fairly expensive. You'd want to put a budget of a few £100 a month probably to be running Google Ads, but they could be very, very helpful for you, particularly if you're not really showing up in local search terms otherwise. And you can run ads on Facebook, on Instagram, on LinkedIn, super expensive, and I think not appropriate for your target users, but or the families and friends of your service users. But Facebook may be appropriate, and Instagram may be appropriate. Email marketing is also something that you might want to consider, and you might want to think about a content marketing approach. So having more content on your website via blogs and articles about the services you offer, your take on what's going on in the sector, that kind of thing. And I thought I'd just share one link with you of a larger provider. They're a customer of CareLineLive, Mega Nursing and Care. And they've got a really lovely blog section, so you can just have a look at some of the things that they have written, so that'll give you some inspiration. They are also running a podcast at the moment, so that, you know, that's quite different, isn't it? So you might want to have a little look at that and see what inspiration you can get from those. What I should have said right at the start is about CareLineLive. We're an all-in-one home care software solution. We are one of the NHSX, now known as NHS England, assured suppliers. So we're on their assured supplier list. Just letting someone in. And we will be at the Care Show. We're involved in quite a lot of local care associations. So we'd love to see you in person, but we'd also be very happy to talk to any of you in relation to giving you a demo if you would like. Right, so let's go to the next slide. So I was talking before about what I saw as marketing essentials. So let's just split up a little bit into looking at what traditional marketing would be for a local provider. So networking and partnerships, you know, so this might be leaflets and brochures and posters in places like local hospitals, GP surgeries, perhaps working more closely with local charities and other community organisations. I'm sure all of you have got ideas of the kind of local organisations that might be appropriate for you to have some sort of networking relationship with. So as I say, leaflets in those kinds of places. There may be local events that you could get involved in. You know, these may be back to work events. They could be run out of your local job centre. It's not necessarily always local community events like a local show or something, but do look at where you might be able to have a presence with those. CareLineLive have just put a little £50 ad in our local summer event. It helps us because we're a local employer, so we're looking at recruiting people from there, and of course recruitment retention, quite an issue for local providers always. And you may want to do a referral program for your existing users, their friends and family, to see whether they have other people they could recommend you to. And then, of course, as I've briefly touched on, recruitment-related marketing, such as at job centres and job fairs. So your audience is not just about service users and their families. Your audience is very much about the kind of people that you might be wanting to recruit as well. Now, whilst we've had that little look at traditional marketing, I just wanted to bring Marina Martin in. So Marina is our home care champion, and I wanted to ask Marina, as someone that used to run a domiciliary care business and has worked in the sector for a long time, what are your thoughts on marketing for this sector?
Wow, my thoughts on marketing before I joined our marketing team were complete horror. So I think for home care providers, I think many of the smaller home care providers will agree that, you know, you're spinning lots of plates, you're wearing different hats. You might have come through like I did as a carer and then, you know, got your qualifications and moved forward. And marketing is just another thing to do with your recruitment. You've got your recruitment hat on, you've got your marketing hat on, you've got your compliance hat on, you've got all of these different hats and you're spinning lots of different plates. So I think marketing now is such a big part of growing your business, that you have to have a marketing strategy. And whether you bring somebody in, I'm not sure I should say this, Marie, but bring somebody in, say part-time, or somebody for half a day a week, you really do need somebody to come in and do that, because it really does take an awful lot of time, as
and actually, just to interrupt you, Marina,
no, fine.
if you've got some budget to do something part-time, there are so many people out there that are very skilled in this sector, that in marketing, that are looking for flexible part-time work. I mean, our marketing team, we're all part-timers, and I've got a great team, and it's partly because we were willing to take part-timers on, so that's definitely worth thinking about. Go on, Marina.
Yeah, and I think one of the big things is fear of technology. So, I've sort of built my own websites in the past, and actually, in some ways, you can sort of patch something together, but actually, your website's absolutely crucial. So, I think sort of technology and, getting onto all these websites and, paying for your ads and doing all of that stuff is really daunting, and especially when you're running a few campaigns. So as Marie said, you might be doing Facebook, Instagram. I know they're sort of joining up, but you're doing lots of different types of marketing and trying to sort of target your main audience. And the other thing is, with that, you're marketing yourself, so you're going out to events and doing lots of networking, and it just takes an awful lot of time. But it's a necessary evil, I'm afraid. Marie wouldn't call it an evil, of course.
No, it's my life. Thank you very much, Marina. I'm just looking at the chat thread. So Rosemary said, yes, we also go to conferences. So yes, traditional marketing, going to conferences. And that's obviously great in terms of you understanding what's going on in the sector and networking and making relationships there. Marina, what would you say about local networking and partnerships, local charities, community organisations, that kind of thing? How would you go about getting in touch with those and working with them?
I think there are a lot of things you can do, and for me, when I was living in another part of the country, and when I was running my own domiciliary care business, I was very much involved in the local community. And let's not forget that CQC want you to be involved in the local community in different ways and working in collaboration with different organisations. So it's really important to do that. And I was in a women in business networking group in Horsham when I lived there, and that was a real good source of new contacts, and getting my name out there, and building those relationships, because a lot of people in those networking groups do have relatives, they're local to you, all of that stuff. So I think it's really, really important to be high profile. I think doing things like going into schools and colleges, Department of Work and Pensions, if they've got a recruitment day, all of that sort of thing really gets your name out there. You might be there for a recruitment day, but it actually gets your name within the community. So I think that's really good. And I think things like doing talks to your local Women's Institute, for instance, is really good, because a lot of those people are a bit older, and or sponsoring a coffee morning at your local church hall, but very much sort of being out there and being part of your community. You've got to market yourself as a person as well.
That's really great advice. Marina, there's a question in the chat about contracting a part-timer. I don't know whether you want to kind of address that in the chat thread. I'm going to carry on with the presentation now. Do interrupt me if you would like. Let's just find my window.
Marie, there was just one question
from
Ruai Felix. How do you approach other businesses for partnerships?
That's probably one for Marina to tackle, if that's okay.
How do you approach them? Was that the question?
Yes.
I think you can approach them in different ways. I would be going to, say, my local job centre and saying, right, okay, I'm Marina Martin, I'm recruiting, we've got these types of jobs. That's the sort of thing I would be doing. I'd also be looking at doing a lot of networking. There's a lot of co-working in the UK now. I'd be going in to do talks for co-working. And, you know, networking within a group of local people is absolutely paramount. And the question from Helen and Rachel, how do you contact a part-timer? What I've found in the past was there was lots of part-time people working within my networking groups. And if you go into any co-working environment, you will find lots of people that will be more than willing to do half a day, a couple of hours a week, whatever you need. So I think you've got to sort of really sort of look at those outlets.
Local Facebook groups are a really good way as well. I think the question was the word contract rather than contact, though. So this is more about an HR question, which is one of the reasons I was bouncing it.
So often when you're using part-timers like that, they will be self-employed. They'll just be running their little businesses. They'll be self-employed. They'll invoice you every month. You're not often employing them. More often than not, you're not employing them. So you will approach them. They will probably have a limited company, or they'll be a sole trader, and they will invoice you for the work they do.
But otherwise, you could just take them on as you would with a flexible carer on a 0 hours contract and so on. Okay, let's move on to what we're talking about today, which is Google Business Profile. So what is it? Well, it's a free tool that Google gives, which allows local businesses to manage their online presence across what is called Google Search and Google Maps. So I've got a screen grab here on the right, which hopefully you can see. So I have searched for home care agency near me. And let's look at what shows up on Google for that. So this is the search. And you can see that there are some sponsored, so these are paid listings. So this company, Country Cousins, has got a Google pay-per-click ad, as has Helping Hands Home Care, as has this company as well. So these have been paid for. And of course, Google's all about trying to make some money nowadays, so it's going to show those at the top. So the ones, I'm just going to miss this at the moment. The ones in the bottom right are the organic listing results. So the number one in my area is homecare.co.uk. Now, homecare.co.uk happens to be one of the directories that I was talking about. So they're not a provider of home care services at all. They have a listing of all the home care services in the UK. So if you're not on there, you need to be on there. But it's not surprising really that Google has shown that as the first result. I'm looking for a home care agency near me. It knows that homecare.co.uk has a directory of all of those things. So it's showing that up as the first one. There's also this answer box. People always also ask how much home carers charge per hour, what home care pays the most, etc., etc. So these are all things that Google are pulling from different websites. Now, you are really going to struggle to get up above this listing, the homecare.co.uk listing. And you can see that that's pretty much all I can see above the fold, if you like, on that first page. So unless I'm paying for these Google pay-per-click listings, which you probably don't have the budget to do, how on earth are you going to show up, fairly close to the top on Google? Well, you're going to do that with a Google Business Profile, which is here. So you can see that there's a map here, and you can see that there are 3 providers that have shown up here, and they will all have live Google Business Profile listings. Now, Google Business Profile used to be called Google My Business, so you may find it talked about in those terms before, or that might be the term that you're familiar with. So the benefits of this are, as I've hopefully demonstrated, improved visibility. You will appear in local searches and on Google Maps when people are searching for home care services or some variant of that in your area. I will show you in a moment. Oh, yeah, actually, you've got it here. There you go. You've got a couple of reviews here. You've got charity helped me so much with really good advice, and then I highly recommend it. So you've got this credibility that comes from reviews and ratings that are independently given on Google. The other thing that Google Business Profile will let you do is give people very quick and easy access to information. So things like what you offer, the hours of operation, what your contact information is, without them having to click through to the website. Now, I know you probably do want them to click through to the website, but people want the least friction possible. So they're much more likely to just want to go to click on this, say right at home, Mid Sussex, and then it will open up their Google Business listing. The one thing I would say about Google Business Profile is it's really easy to set up and manage. You don't need to have any technical skills, really. You just need to create a Google account and go for it. So this is CareLineLive's Google listing. So you can see our name. You can see that we've got 8 reviews on Google. I have to say we don't work terribly hard at trying to get more reviews on Google, because for us it's more important to have reviews on Trustpilot, and we pay for Trustpilot to host our reviews and everything, and that for us, because we're selling business to business, is more important than the Google reviews. But for you, having good Google reviews, that's the first kind of place people are really looking for reviews for you. So you can see a little summary of what we are. We're a software company in Slinfold. You can see that there's links to our website, directions if people want to come to the office. You can click on reviews, they can save it, they can share the information, or they can call us. So that for you is super important, isn't it? That they can instantly click and call. You can see what our address is, you can see what our opening hours are, and this is a screen grab, but if it was live, I'd be able to click through and see all the different days we were open. It's pulling in the reviews we've got on Facebook as well, and these are our Google reviews. So you can see there's a couple of 5-star reviews there. So other things that you can do is there's a services section, so you can list the kind of services that you offer. For instance, personal care, respite care, dementia support, whatever you do. You can share posts and updates. You can almost treat it as a little website, really. You can respond to the reviews and manage the reviews there. If you get a bad review, you can't delete it. So, but perhaps you've got an unfair review, and you can show how you're addressing that, or why you feel it's unfair, and people will click through, obviously, and read your responses there. You can upload photographs, you can upload videos. It's really good to humanize your brands, and you can perhaps have a question and answer section. So why is it important for you? Well, you need that improved visibility, don't you? You need that boosted credibility, and you want to be able to share the sort of information that people are looking for. So let's look at this in a little bit more detail. So I'm back on that previous search that I did. So let's look at the first result that I got. So this is All Care East Sussex. So they've got a Google business profile here. So they've uploaded some photographs. Now these they may be pictures of their staff, they may be some stock photographs that they've bought, and you can see that this is the Google car has gone past their office, and this is the view of their office. You can see their reviews, you can see their location, their hours of operation, and their phone number. Okay, so let's look in a little bit more detail. When I click through to All Care East, what happens? So in the left column, I'm seeing all the other online listings for that company. Okay, so you can click through and have a look at those if you want. So you've got NHS listings, CQC listings, Facebook, and all the rest. And on the right, we can see their information from their Google Business Profile listing, and you can see that their reviews and everything are there as well. Okay, so you've got links, contact info, questions and answer, which you can set up if you'd like, the about information, any updates that they've recently done. So they actually haven't done anything recently, but you could click through and see some old ones, their social media profiles, and the reviews that they've got on Google. So how do we get started? So I'm going to send you the slide deck as well as the video recording. So the first thing you do is you sign into Google Business Profile. So you click into this link and you click Manage Now. Now, you will need a Google email or a Google account to do this. So if you don't have one of those, you will just need to set yourself up with a Gmail email address. It's not hard, it doesn't cost you anything to do. So you need to click on Google Business Profile, so you can just Google that, set up a Google Business account. and you click Manage Now, and then you sign in with the Google account that you want to use. So you could have La 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 Home Care Agency at google.com or gmail.com, and you sign in with that, and then you start putting your business information in. So you put the name in, the category, and your location. It's all very, very logical. You add your contact details and your website. Now, I have set these up when I haven't got a website, but what I've got is a Facebook group or a Facebook page, and Google will let you do that. So say all you've got at the moment is a Facebook page, you could put that in instead of your website. Okay, so you know, I know that there are people here that are completely new to setting up a local home care business. You haven't got the website yet, but you have got a Facebook page, even if it's only got a really basic information on, like what your address is and what your phone number is. That's better than having nothing. Okay, and then step 4. You need to verify your business. So Google needs proof that you own the business. This is so that Google doesn't have all sorts of random fake businesses being set up. So there are 3 ways that Google does this. The most common is that they'll send you a postcard in the post, and there'll be a verification code there, so it'll be sent to your address, you'll have a code, and you'll just have to go to the Google profile and you put that code in, and then that's verified. Occasionally businesses are able to verify by phone or by email. And if for a larger provider, if you've got Google Search Console set up on your website, you may well be able to verify via your Google account. But whatever method it chooses for you, you'll just need to follow that before you can get your business live on Google. Once you have that up and verified, you can then add some additional things. You can add a business description. So I would suggest that you add relevant keywords for what people are looking for. So domiciliary care services, home care services, dementia care, whatever the services you are offering, pop those into that description. Add up in your logo, a photograph of your team, maybe an image of your workplace. If you've got permission from one of your service users to have a photograph perhaps of one of your carers with a service user, that could be a really lovely picture to add in. Pop your business hours in. One of the things that Google will do about business hours over bank holidays, Christmas and Easter, is it will message you and say, do you want to update these hours for the holiday period? So you'll be able to do that at the time. You may want to be able to enable messaging so that people can contact you directly through Google rather than necessarily phoning you. I think that could be a really good idea, but you will obviously need to have access to that email address that you've been using to set your Google profile up. So do make sure that email is monitored. And do encourage people to review you. One of the ways that you're going to show up above others on Google Business Profile is if you have plenty of nice, fresh reviews. So I'm a yoga teacher part-time when I'm not working at CareLineLive, and I've got, I don't know, 20 odd reviews, and I try and get another one every few months in. And it means that of the local yoga teachers, I'm the one that shows up on top because I've got lots of reviews and I keep everything nice and fresh in that profile. And then step 6, make sure that when you get reviews, and they will be emailed to you as soon as they've gone live, you respond to them. So, if it's a lovely review, just say thank you so much, really appreciate it, something nice. But importantly, obviously, if you get a negative review, do respond to it. Now, you may need to hold your hands up and say, yep, we made an error there. This is what we're putting in place to bring improvements, or perhaps someone's got the wrong end of the stick and they've given you a negative review that you don't feel is warranted. Well, try and turn that around. Try and say why you feel as you do. Try and keep it positive and upbeat. It's always good to show your human side in these things. Then good to post updates. So maybe you're going to a local job fair, or you're doing some other local event. You've got a job vacancy. I know for a lot of you, you'll be recruiting constantly. So just keep posting updates about the latest recruitment drive. Or perhaps you've got a new service that you're doing, or your staff have received training in something new, and you can put some information in about that. And it will give you some insights to see how many people have looked at the profile, how many have clicked to find your address, how many have clicked to phone you, what search queries have been. So try and learn from those. So good practice, do encourage reviews. So do ask your service users or their friends and family to give you a review. Google really does like to see a steady stream of positive reviews, but don't worry if you get the odd one that's not a 5-star. It does make it look like it's genuine rather than you just getting all your staff to write reviews for you. But when prospective service users or their family are searching for an agency, a set of positive Google reviews can go such a long way. You know, they may kind of go, well, shall I talk to this agency or this one? This one's got 2 reviews, this one's got 17. Which one do you think you would be going for? So do try and encourage service users and their families to leave reviews. I know some businesses might try and incentivize this. I don't know, it could just be a really little gift that you would give as a thank you. So, you know, I'll leave that to you as to whether you want to do, whether you feel that that's ethical or not. Try and use the posts, the updates that you do to demonstrate your community involvement, to showcase a new member of staff. I mean, you might do a Carer of the Month awards, so you could pop that up. If you're doing anything active on social media, you can probably just copy and paste a lot of the posts that or content that you've put on social media for your updates on Google. Really good if you can add in photos and videos, try and make them good quality, you know, so your team, caregiving services, perhaps, you know, the office space. You don't need a professional photographer, but try and make them look, you know, at least good quality, please. And some of the things that we do is for CareLineLive is that we use a free program called Canva, C-A-N-V-A. Natalie, you might want to just pop the Canva link in the thread, actually, in the chat thread. We'd copy and paste a testimonial. Maybe a service user has told us that how much they like, and you can create a little graphic of that testimonial with or without a headshot of the person. Sophie's asking whether adding photos and videos will increase rankings. Yes, because Google wants to know that you're alive, that you're engaging with people, that you're giving, and that they love to have, Google loves to have all of this new stuff on the site. So yes, do add photos and videos on a regular basis if you can. I'm sorry that just adds to your to-do list as well. Okay, so let's just look inside from the kind of back end. So you could literally just Google Business Profile, and it will take you to either for you to set something up or for you to log into the ones that you've got already. So you'll see when I do that, I've got 3 business profiles for my CareLineLive account. This is another brand that we have. It's a business we acquired a while ago. Here's the main CareLineLive one, and here's our Australian one. Okay, so I would click on that to view profile. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to come out of my PowerPoints. Let me just stop sharing that for a moment, and I will be back with you in a second. If I can stop sharing my PowerPoint, that would be helpful. Okay, here we are. Let's close these down. Right. So I will just share this again. So here I am. I've Googled Google Business Profile Manager, and I am here. So if I actually let me share you another one. So if I'm just in my normal screen for Google, if I go to these 4 little dots, because I've already got a Google Business Profile set up, I can just click on Google Business Profile Manager there. Gosh, it's a mouthful, isn't it? And it will take me onto that screen that I just showed you. Okay, so you can add businesses here as well, or you can look at your existing ones. So let's have a look at CareLineLive at the back end. It's taking a while to load. Okay, so you can see this is the right-hand screen that people see, but this, because I'm an admin here, this is the back end of Google Business Profile. So we're just going to work through each of those. So if I click on Edit Profile, you can see that I've got my business name, so I could edit that if I wanted to really cause havoc. I could change that to something else. The business category we're in, so we're a software company. We have a description here now. NHSX is no more, but it's actually NHS England. So let's just do a little update. I'm over numbers there. I'm going to take out NHS assured supplier. That will just pop that in instead. Okay, so this, we call this copy boilerplate copy, and you'll be familiar with it because you have to write about your business a lot in all sorts of directories and that kind of thing. So it can be quite good to keep a file of all of those. So you can see we've got our CareLineLive one. I would just save that. And it just shows that it's pending for a current for an update. Our website is there. Oh, now social profiles new. So let's, for the sake of it, pop, just so I can show you how this is all working. And go back to here. So I'm going to add social profile, Facebook, web address. It's helpful. The whole thing didn't come in. Let's copy the whole thing instead. There we go. So I'm just going to save that. I'll go in and put the other social profiles in another time. Okay, so going to the next tab along here, it's contact. So you can see that we've got our location, our business location here. So this is our head office. Here are our opening hours. So if I wanted to change these, I could just say we decided we were going to do early closing on Friday. We don't, but say we were going to start closing at 2:30, I could change that to there. And we're closed on Saturdays and Sundays. And by the way, our support team are answering the phone from 9 till 5:30 every day of the week. You can add other bits and pieces here. You just need to choose something that's sort of appropriate for your business. So let's, I think that was it, hours and more. Okay, so that was in the edit profile. If you click to read reviews, you can see here. Now we had a 2-star recently. Don't know why that was so poor, because generally our reviews are very good, but you can just see that we have responded. This person probably has not worked closely with our support team to get the kind of support that is available for them. But you can see lots and lots of nice reviews. So we write a very nice response. So you can see, and I use my name when I respond here as well, because I want to show that we are a real human being that is responding rather than it being a bot. So you can see the replied to ones, and you can see those that have not been replied to. Here's photos. So you can see we've popped a logo in there. This is just a picture of a service user and a carer using our app. So that's our cover picture, but we could change that. Here are some of our Meet the Team pictures. Now, Gemma doesn't work for us anymore, so I'm going to just delete her out of there. You can see we haven't been doing so much of our own housekeeping, and there's some images of our software. I've got no, we've got one video there. I think it's probably just, yeah, it's a CareLineLive about video, but we need to add a few more into that. So let's go back out of that. Performance, let's see what this is all about. So you can see how many interactions we've had. So shall we just look at the last month? So you can see we've had 141 business profile interactions on that. Now, CareLineLive has an all singing, all dancing website. We are really nicely optimized for SEO. So if you search for home care software, we're likely to be number 1 or number 2 on Google for that. Okay, so you think, well, why does this company need Google local search? Why do we need this Google business profile? Well, you can see just the way that Google surfaces this in search. We get an awful lot of people finding us through that. So Google search from maps, mobile and desktop. So you can see we've had 8 calls made from the business profile. I don't think we've got bookings set up. 66 people have asked for direction requests, and we've had 67 clicks through to our website from the profile. So you can see how important this is for us. You know, we're a smallish business as well. So, you know, it's an important one. So you can look at that every month, and I do check the key data of that every month. Advertise, Google will not miss a trick to sell you its advertising bits and pieces. So this is Google AdWords. So you can see some of our Google AdWords bits and pieces in the background. I'm not going to go into that. We actually work with another agency to do that for us. Edit products. So I've just put a couple of products in here, all in one home care management system. You might want to do, domiciliary care visits. You might want to do, I don't know, if you offer a night service, if you offer a transport service, whatever you are offering, you could add those in as separate products if you wanted. You may also, or instead, want to add them in as services. Okay, so you can see that we've put our software into one area here, the management platform. So I think we've just put the different aspects of our software. So we've got the managers portal, the mobile app, and friends and family app as well. Bookings. This is really more for like a restaurant to have bookings, so you just wouldn't set anything up in there. Here's your Q&A section. So we haven't popped any questions and answers in there, but you might, for instance, if you might want to have the question, how much do you charge for an hour's home care visit? So you might want to have that Q&A set up so that people can see that, or you may want to have some other sort of less exact question in relation to pricing. This is where you add though about local events or recruitment drive or something else that you're doing. So you can add events here. If I wanted to just add an update, maybe I was going to be doing some recruitment, I would create an image. So I could do that in Canva, or you could just have a nice smiley picture of a member of your staff. You'd add a description in there, and then you'd add a button. So, you'd call now, perhaps if you just want people to phone, or learn more if you've got a page on their website for the local job ads. I think that's call now or learn more are going to be the two that are most appropriate to you. So I'm obviously not going to put that nonsense in there. And then finally, you've got this ask for a review. So you can copy that link there, and obviously there's a QR code as well. So you could send that out by email, for instance, to your service users and their families, and say, look, we've just got this new Google business profile. It would really help us to have some reviews. Would you mind spending 2 minutes just writing a nice review for us? So you've got a nice, quick and easy review link that you can share there. Okay, I think that was all I was going to. I'm going to just share that screen again for you, and then I will take some questions. Just switch that around so you can see our ebook if you would want. Right, so let me look at the chat threads. Sophie asks, may I ask, when you're uploading photos, videos, is this something that will appear on the search results once an individual clicks on the listing? Where do these photos go? It does appear on the search results. So let's just come back. So see if I can show you these. So yeah, okay. So these are photos that I have shared. And you'll see that photo was the cover photo that I'd shared. Why don't we look? Let's do a home care business near me. Let's have a look at someone else's results. Okay, so let's look at Extra Mile Home Care Agency. So this is the Google car, which you'll be familiar with. And you can look at pictures by the owner. So they've put up one image there. So yeah, there's just the street view and that one image they've done. Let's look at Bright Care. Oh, they've got loads. That's really nice. So they've put 13 odd photos. These are really nice examples. Look, carer and service user. Really, they're professionally taken, aren't they? Gosh, they're awesome. Such nice photographs. So now you don't need to spend a fortune on a photographer. You could just put something in your local Facebook group and say, is there a keen amateur that would mind doing this for, a lower cost for you? And you can get some really, really lovely pictures. So you can see that they are surfacing on Google. Let me go back to the chat thread. Do ask any other questions as we are going. should posting be social media frequency, or do you advise to post more sparingly? That's a really good question, Sophie. I would not post as often as I do on social media. In the CareLineLive, we post on social media pretty much at least once a day. That would be completely over the top for Google. I think once every month would be fine for Google. You don't need to kind of hit it with everything. Obviously, you've got lots and lots of things to post about. You know, you're doing a recruitment drive here. You're welcoming a new member of staff there. You've just awarded a Care of the Month award here. One of your service users has got a 100th birthday. You can just think of all those things that would be quite nice to have. It just shows that you're a caring human organisation. So thank you for that question, Sophie, and please don't apologise. That's fine. Does anyone
Marie,
else? Yes, please.
There was a
Natalie.
question just above Sophie's first question. There is a question from Helen and Rachel about the Friends and Family app, which is, I believe, Care Circle. Yep,
absolutely. So I will share this with you. Thank you very much for asking that. So CareLineLive basically is we've got three aspects to the software. There is the management portal, which is what people are using in the office. There is an app for carers, so a carer would have that app on their mobile phone, and there is also an app for service users and their families, so that they can see the details of a visit, and that's all updated in real time. So you know, they can see what their loved one had for their breakfast, for instance, check that the visit has actually happened, and whether there were any notes made on that. So that when we've talked to providers that have started to use us, they find that it really reduces the number of calls that come into head office, particularly with service users that perhaps have dementia, and they'll ring their son or daughter and say, my carers haven't come round, and the son or daughter can look at the app and say, well, actually they have, and don't you remember they made you a cup of tea and you had a Twix and la la la. So it can be very beneficial for service users, for their families, but also for you as providers. TSF, can't find a section to link social media platforms on your Google My Business profile. Okay, let's see if I can find it again for you and see if I can find it there. Where did I put it? Wasn't in the update. I can't remember where it was. You might need to go back through the recording. Yeah, here it was. Okay, so if you go under, it was in edit profile and under the about information. Now I see that this is new. My knowledge of working on this kind of thing in the past is sometimes these things are rolled out to some users before they're rolled out to others. So if you're in that screen and you're not seeing it, please just be patient and you'll probably find that it will come up. If I'm opening a new branch in a different location, do I have to create a new Google Business profile? Oh my word, that is a really good question. That may be above my ability to answer really coherently here today. But what I will show you is CareLineLive has an office in central London and we have an office in Horsham. So we have created two separate but linked profiles for them. I think I don't know whether it's Firi or Rogers as your first name, so apologies. But I think you probably would want to create an additional one because you want to optimize for that local search. But I think you can link them. If you Google that, there will be a Google Help article on it about Rogers. Thank you very much, Rogers. So there probably will be a Google search article that will help you decide what's best for your situation. Are there any other questions? While you're thinking, I'm just going to make another poll live. So I'd like to know, following this webinar, what you intend to do about Google Business Profile. And I'm going to ask you all if you would do one thing for us as a thank you for the webinar. If you would like to review the webinar for us on Trustpilot that would be amazing. So I know Trustpilot often will be about you reviewing our service as a software provider, but if you could review how you found the webinar and or our services as a software provider, that would be really good. We are about to go from 4.8 to 4.9 on Trustpilot, and 1 or 2 reviews will just make the difference. And as a marketer, I'm sure you can understand that that would make me extremely happy. Sophie asks, can you write a few different locations for areas served on there? Yes, you can, Sophie, you absolutely can. You can, you can name check those different towns and villages that you're in. Yeah, do add a few more in. Rosemary, make us more visible and put a calendar in place to update and add something at a regular day each month using some of the ideas for a day. Oh, this is what you're going to do as a result of today's piece. Lovely. Put a calendar in place. Good. Update, add something in regular each month. Good. Yeah, if you diary it in, today is my Google Business Day or my social media day. That's great. I'm glad that you found that a good idea. Right, so let's just look at the results from this poll. View results. So 13% of you are trying to work out whether you've currently got a Google Business Profile or not. So this is something that I didn't actually say, but it will be relevant for you actually. If you find your own company on Google and it appears that there is a Google Business Profile, but you can't remember what your login is or anything, you can go and claim that profile. So they'll make you verify, but you can do that with some paperwork. It's not a difficult thing. So just because someone might have set one up in the past doesn't mean to say that you can't now take control over it. 28% of you are going to go away and create a Google Business Profile. Good, really good to hear that. 58% of you are going to go and update your existing profile. I'm very glad to have got you moving on that. And 5% of you say you're perfectly happy with the way it's working now. It's all going well. That's really good. And thank you so much for your question about how you found this webinar. I'm just wondering whether I can share this so that others can see it that are struggling. Just share the I'm going to be on a bit of an infinite loop here. No, it's not liking that at all. No, I can't share that, so I'm going to stop sharing that. But some very nice responses to that poll, which I will read out instead. View the results. So people found it useful, informative, good, yeah, helpful to have the updates about events and that kind of thing. Lovely, let's just check back in the chat threads. So Priscilla, yes, this has been recorded and we will be sending everyone that came to the webinar a copy of the recording. Okay, well, we've done that in just less than an hour. Marina, have you got anything else that you'd like to add?
Going back to my domiciliary care managing hat on, you were talking about earlier about, adding all of those photos. And I think, within the recruitment and retention crisis, you just have to sort of, get your wins where you can. And I think adding photos of, your carers doing a meeting, a forum, all of that sort of thing is really, really important because your prospective recruits, want to see that you're a happy human company. As we use the word at CareLineLive, human, a lot, and I think it's just really important to sort of really try and showcase what you do. I was talking to somebody yesterday that's a CQC inspector, and they said they really want people to showcase what they're doing, not just what they're not doing very well or not just their compliance. So it's really all about, showcasing your domiciliary branches to the world, and getting that good profile.
Thank you very much, Marina. And while you were talking, because I looked at the Q&A thread and I saw that Rogers had asked that same question there, and Deepak had also said, how does this work if we're in multiple locations? So I have very quickly Googled what you do for businesses with multiple locations, and I have put in the AI overview that Google gave me on that, so you can just read through the advice that Google themselves offer you. Rosemary says, I feel very motivated from today. There were some really useful ideas that will be easy for us to action. Well, I'm really glad to hear that, Rosemary. I mean, I think times are really tough at the moment with national insurance rises and just there being so little budget around. So if I can give you something that will help you get a little bit more business locally and motivate your team, I'm very glad to have done so. We'll send you all of this information out. It may not be today, it may be later on either Friday or Monday. And do download the ebooks as well. Please do send us those Trustpilot reviews. That would be really useful for us. And if you found this helpful, let us know, and we might see if we can do some other marketing webinars in the future. Thank you very much. And thank you very much, Marina and Natalie in the background, helping with all the tech support.